Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. In today's video, I am going to be sharing with you guys my current makeup routine. Someone recently asked me about this, and obviously I'm no makeup artist, beauty content creator, or anything of the sort, but I do know how to do my makeup, which I learned from YouTube many years ago, and every now and again, I feel like it's appropriate for me to share my updated routine. So I don't have any like day looks, night looks. It's all the same. I don't really wear eyeshadow. I don't wear fake eyelashes. There are a lot of things that I don't do. So I just want to make this clear that this is the look that you'll get from me no matter if I'm going to work, church, concert, outside, inside. This is just my everyday makeup routine, but by everyday I mean literally every day. So we're gonna start from top to bottom, and also I'll share with you guys what my hair looks like after I'm finished with this. I'll do my hair afterwards and come back and share what my hair looks like. But yeah, we're gonna start from top to bottom, and hopefully I don't have to edit this video, because me and editing over the summer when I already don't have to work my full-time job just doesn't sit right with my spirit. So anyway, I'm going in with the Neutrogena Hydro Boost Gel Cream Extra Dry. So there are multiples of this, and like multiples of the Neutrogena Hydro Boost moisturizers, but this is the one that I'm currently using. And I normally get products that are for dry skin because my skin is dry, but I also try to get products that will work with my husband's skin because he's gonna use my stuff for his skincare routine. Mainly. He does like masks and stuff like more than me. I don't really do much. Sometimes I tone, but I only do that sparingly, and I'm not doing that today because I did it, I think, last night. So I just moisturize, and I do have more so dry skin. So, you know, it errs on the side of dry. So that is how I moisturize, and I try to avoid pulling down. Like if I'm trying to get my neck area, I try to, you know, work the moisturizer upward so that I'm not dragging my skin down, because that's what a dermatologist told me to do on a cruise ship. So I've never been to a dermatologist, but I took what she was saying as law, and so that's just what I do. And I also try to pat. You'll see that I try to pat as often as I can. I'm going in with the Black Girl sunscreen because I am told that this is, I mean, I'm black, so it kind of makes sense, but I was also told this is for face and body. It's like $15, which is a lot to me. I just started wearing sunscreen just recently. I'm trying to do, like, once I hit 30, I was like, okay, let me try to get some kind of skincare routine in place and just try to put my best foot forward. So I wouldn't use this on my body necessarily unless I had to. I went on to the beach, and I didn't bring regular sunscreen because I do get legit sunburnt, and I didn't bring my regular sunscreen, so I did use this, but I just don't want to use it up like a whole lot, I guess, because it's $15. So I'm mainly just focused it on my face. And, you know, I would say it works. It does look like it's going to be a problem, you know, initially, but then it works itself out. I have the viewfinder, I have my vanity mirror, and then I also have this mirror. So I'm looking literally, oh, this probably makes the most sense to look at this mirror. But yeah, I'm looking pretty much anywhere. But yeah, I don't want my skin to be damaged because of the sun, because my body gets really damaged because of the sun. So yeah, I'm trying to use sunscreen, and I try to use that one for my face only because it costs a pretty penny. So that's the first step. Next step, we're going in with two different foundations. My favorite is the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation. We all know that because I talk about it regularly, but I don't have my current shade. This is neutral tan. I probably could stand to use tan, but I don't have a tan. So what I do have on me is a 330 Toffee Caramel in the Maybelline Fit Me. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix these two together just to get more of my summer shade, because I'm a little darker, right? Well, I'm much darker. And if my face even remotely matches the rest of my body, that means that I'm darker, because normally my face is way lighter. So I'm just gonna mix the two together. So this one has a little squirt, so I'm just gonna squirt. I normally do 4 drops, and in the summer I try to wear the least amount of makeup as possible. So that being said, I am not gonna go, I'm just gonna be really light-handed, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Also, I timed this makeup look. It takes me, when I'm just doing it without trying to show anybody what I'm doing, it takes me 8 minutes. So this is an 8-minute makeup routine. So yeah, I'm just gonna go in, just dipping this little random brush in and just trying to, you know, spread it out so I can have a color, a shade that more so resembles my actual color. So I have the Face Expert brush or Expert Face brush by Real Techniques, and then I also have I think you call it Sonia Kashuk beauty blender that's dirty because all of my stuff is always dirty. So I normally do either or. I prefer to pat into my skin just so I'm not smearing it, but every now and again, when like once a month, I'll go ahead and just use this because I really like it, but I just don't like the smearing across my face. I'd rather just do this. So for today, I'm just gonna go ahead and bounce this into my skin, or pounce this into my skin. And so the key that everyone will tell you to a decent makeup look is, first of all, taking care of your actual skin, because if you're drinking water and moisturizing and doing all of the things, then obviously that is going to make your actual face and skin be in a decent condition. But aside of taking care of your actual face, you do want to make sure that when you're putting on your foundation, which is, you know, speaks for itself, foundation, that you're blending to the gods, like blending to perfection, so that everything is nice and smooth, because this is your base and you have to work off of this. So if this is jacked up because you didn't blend it out properly or whatever, then you might look crazy. So I don't necessarily like go on my ear or in my ear. I just kind of get as close to it as I can. Same with my neck. I don't really take it down too low because I shouldn't have to do that if I'm matching my shade well. So I'm just gonna get as close to it as I possibly can, like as close to my neck line, I guess, as I possibly can. Just pretty much bringing it down the jawline and just blending that out so that you can't really see the transition. That's pretty much the purpose of that. I will go ahead and go over my, like this whole area with no regards to my eyebrows, because sometimes I don't even do anything to my eyebrows. So it's not like I've done my eyebrows first and I'm gonna mess them up or whatever, because eyebrows, I just kind of rock with my normal eyebrows typically. Now, what I do is I try to get as close to my hair as I actually can, just because I do not want that line of demarcation, I think is what you call it. So I just try to get all in there so that you can't see, you know, that this is darker than my actual face, because for whatever reason, that is the case. Plus, we're gonna add some contour to the perimeter of our face anyway, so it's fine. So the whole purpose when you're doing your makeup is to make sure that, like the whole purpose is so that you can replicate what your actual face looks like. So if you're darker, you know, around the perimeter, which most of us typically are, then you wanna make sure when you're doing your makeup, you're darkening the perimeter with some type of, you know, powder or contour, concealer or something like that, so that it resembles that of your natural face. You don't want to lose the dimension. So yeah, that is what we have going on. So I'm just getting all in there, and I don't even have to do it perfectly because, like I said, first of all, I'm gonna have bangs at the end of this, like hair in my face, so it doesn't even really matter that much anyway, but also because I am going to be adding some contour, so it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Okay, so everything looks good to me. I look as blended out as I am going to be. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in now with concealer, and I'm using the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer in True Beige. And one thing that's changed since the last time that we spoke is I just do like a few little dots, like nothing major, because I'm not actually trying to conceal anything. You know, I'm not trying to cover up dark spots. I'm just trying to add some dimension to my face. I've already done more than what I normally do, and so therefore it doesn't take that much, and plus I don't have to work as hard if I just add a little bit. So using the same beauty blender, I've clearly been using this for a while, I'm gonna go ahead and blend out that. And this is your under eye area, which I consider to be sensitive and gentle. I'm no dermatologist, but that's just my personal take. Even when I touch it, it seems more sensitive than the rest of my face. So I just like to, while it looks like I'm maybe really going in, I like to really be gentle. And you can look up too to make sure that you're getting all the way in there, because again, you don't want any lines of demarcation. You want everything to be smooth smooth, not smooth, smooth, and even and flawless. So as you can see, it just brightened it up a little bit, and that's what I was going for. So I'm gonna do this side now, and then I said I wasn't gonna edit this video, which I'm gonna be finished with this literally in like, you know, another 10 minutes, so I don't think I'm gonna edit this video. Sometimes I will take that above the eye. Again, that's just adding a little dimension, and if I have a little excess, I will take it above the eye, but for the most part, I like to stay in this area. I don't really need this area to be larger, but I do want it to be a little brighter. Like I said, just to add some dimension. I could go without this step. As you can see, it's taking me a couple minutes. This and the foundation take the most time. Everything else is a literal breeze. Like, I think applying everything else takes a minute or less. So anyway, you just want to make sure that you are getting that really good. And I'm filming today, so when I am filming, I do try to put a little more extra time and energy into my face. So you want to keep it in this area. You don't want to just be putting it all over the place. Some people will go ahead and highlight, it's what you call it technically, or conceal the bridge of their nose, their forehead, anywhere where the sun naturally hits your face. But I'm not doing all that, so that's just going to be the extent of that. I am using a new setting powder because the previous setting powder that I was using, I used all of it. So I'm going in with the Revolution baking powder, and I guess the shade is Banana. So I just dump it into the lid. It does get a little messy. Now I'm gonna dip my beauty blender into the powder, and then I'm gonna set the concealer, because if you put a liquid on your face, you have to set it with the powder. Otherwise, it may crease, depending on what type of liquid it is. Concealers are known to crease, or worse than that, it might move around on your face, and you don't want your concealer that you put here to end up here or somewhere else. So anytime you put a liquid, go ahead and set it with a powder, preferably a corresponding powder, meaning one that you're actually supposed to use. So you want to make sure your concealer is blended out before you set it, because once you set it in place, you know, you set it and you go on with your life. So you want to make sure it's blended out and there are no creases. That means if you have to do one last little pat, go ahead and do it, but I am not gonna do that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put that here, and I'm just gonna press it into my skin. That's the way that I prefer to set my concealer. I'm just gonna press it into the skin. Some people just, you know, kind of press it onto the skin and kind of cake it on there, and then they bake. Cake and bake. But I don't want to bake, because I don't want to do anything more than what I'm doing now. So therefore, this is the extent of my concealing. And since I did put a little bit on my eyelid, I am gonna go ahead and go to my eyelid and just set that in place too, just so that doesn't move around. Other areas that I'm gonna set include the sides of my nose, because this area, once it gets sweaty, it tends to separate. Not a good look. So I'm gonna do both sides, and then I'm gonna set my laugh lines. That's important to me too. So I'll just go ahead and do this, and then set my laugh lines, because those have a tendency to crease up as well. So if it's gonna crease, just go ahead and set it, basically. But typically, you know, there aren't many areas that you would need to set because of like natural creasing. I do have a forehead area too, and so I'm gonna go ahead and set that. There's a line here, and once, you know, I put makeup on it, then once I start sweating, then the makeup separates. That's what I mean by crease. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and do a little extra setting for that area. All right, so after I get here, it's pretty much a breeze. If there is any excess powder that I wanna kinda press into the skin, I'll go ahead and take some kind of random brush. This is the brush that I talked about earlier that I didn't use to apply the foundation, so I'm just gonna use it to kind of press the foundation, or the setting powder, into my face. Again, once I get here, it's a literal breeze. So I'm going in with my same palette, my contour palette, which is the True Complexion medium to dark. And what I'm gonna do is take a BH Cosmetics contour brush. I'm gonna use it the wrong way, but this is technically a contour brush. I've actually hit pan, and I'm gonna use this to contour. So I dip into the pan first, and then I kind of like wipe off the excess here, because this is the situation. Like, you don't want, anytime you're doing your makeup, you want to add a little first and then build upon it with any blush, concealer, anything. Add some and then build upon it, because it's easier to kind of get the look that you want when you're building on top of, you know, adding two rather than because if you add too much blush and you look like a clown, then you'll have to take off the blush completely or have to do a whole bunch of work to make it look normal. Whenever you can just add a little bit and see what you like, see if that looks good, then add a little bit more. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna contour above my cheekbone. So an easy way to do this is to suck, to do the kissy face like this. And then you see how that, I already did this line, but let's do this side of the face. So once I do this, you see this area here, you wanna contour along this area. And you wanna opt to go higher rather than lower, meaning instead of contouring kind of below that line, you wanna contour above it, just because you'd rather contour above it than below, because if you do below, it's gonna kind of like drag your face down, but if you do it above it, it kind of lifts your face up, which we all stand a lifted face. So I already know what I'm doing pretty much, so I'm just going to go ahead, and this isn't supposed to be a tutorial, but there's some things I have to explain. So I already know pretty much what I'm doing, and again, start with a little, and then I can build it up. I'm just gonna do the other side because I like to do both sides first, just to kind of see what that looks like. Again, I just kind of do a little bit. I'm just adding dimension back to my face. I'm not trying to get a snatched jawline. I'm not trying to do anything extra, just adding dimension back to my face. The next area is gonna be my double chin, which kind of isn't double anymore. Look at that. Look at that. Love that for me. And so I'm just gonna add a little contour here along my jawline, just because it kind of minimizes my double chin. And so that's just a little tip. Really, with contouring, you're supposed to do the 3. But I don't really, I mean, sometimes I come in here and kind of connect them, but that's not really that important to me, so I pretty much don't do that. And so sometimes I will go ahead and just hit the sides. It just kind of depends on what hairstyle I'm wearing. So the last little area that I'm gonna contour that's important is gonna be this area. Remember, it was darker and I was trying to blend it out and make it look good, but it didn't really matter too much because I knew that I would be coming back and adding in some color. So that is what I am doing, and so now everything looks pretty good. And I just pretty much keep my contour where it needs to be. Like, I don't want to go any extra places other than where the experts say it'll look good. So the one thing that I've been doing is I've been contouring my nose. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to go into the palette, and I'm just going to take this little edge here, and then I'm going to contour my nose. And so this is supposed to, I can kind of change the shape of my nose essentially. The reason why I like doing this is because it adds further definition. I like the shape of my nose, but it does add further definition, and we love definition when doing makeup. So I'm just going to go down both sides of my nose gently. Again, a little goes a long way. I've already pretty much put too much, but it's fine. We'll make it work. So both sides of the nose, kind of connecting to my eyebrow, and then also I just kind of go across this area too. That pretty much gives an effect of like a button nose, and so I just like to do that just for dimension. But you can pretty much do whatever you want to do with your nose. I mean, I would watch a video on contouring noses if you want more information. I obviously have no real clue, but because I put too much, no matter if I was using a powder or a liquid, I can still just use my finger or some kind of little brush to kind of blend it out to, you know, make some of it go away essentially, because I had put too much. And so I'm just kind of blending it out using both fingers. All right, next thing that I do is I do my eyebrows, but you know, me and eyebrows, we don't really get along. I don't really know what I'm doing. So what I do is I take the spoolie, and I'm using the NYX Professional Makeup Micro Brow Pencil in Espresso. And I'm just gonna brush my brows into place first and foremost. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the other end, which is the actual eyebrow pencil. And really what I like to do is just kind of fill in the areas that are kind of sparse. So over the years, if you're getting your eyebrows waxed especially, which is what I do, because it's all that I can, the only pain that plucking hurts, threading hurts, and nothing else really I don't think would fit my needs. So that pretty much just leaves waxing. And so I just get my eyebrows waxed. But I feel like since I've been doing it for so long and over the years, your eyebrows, you start to lose, you know, density, I feel like. So I'm just gonna kind of go in the areas that are sparse, and I'm not gonna clean up my eyebrows. Sometimes you'll see people cleaning up their eyebrows to give it a more like crisp look. That's pretty much what it comes down to. Anything extra is just you know, making everything look really nice and perfect and great, and I'm not doing all that. So this is the extent of what I am going to do. So once I go ahead and add the pencil, I then go ahead and take the brush again, kind of like brushing it all out and blending it all in, just to make sure the hairs are going the way that they're supposed to go. I don't leave makeup on long enough. I don't go anywhere important enough to set my, you know, brows to make sure that they don't move. But you could set your brows in place with different gels and stuff if you wanted to, but I don't want to. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so that's that. Next up, let's go ahead and do mascara. I'm using the Maybelline New York Sky High mascara, and what I like to do is just add, you know, a couple coats. So I'm gonna add one coat so I can share with you guys what that looks like. One top coat, because this is my top lash, so we call this a top coat, or well, that's what I call it. So that's a top coat. Already looks much different from that side. So I just kind of keep working with it. You want to make sure, again, you're going in with a light amount. You're being gentle because you don't want to add too much mascara, because if you do that, then basically what happens is it'll clump up and it won't even really look like an eyelash anymore. So you just want to go in with a light hand with everything. So now I'm going to do this side of my face as well. What are we looking like on time? It's 8:40 a.m. and I have to leave here around 9 a.m. So we're doing good because I'm about to be finished. It doesn't really matter. I can do these, I mean, short of, I guess, my brows, it doesn't really matter what order I do my makeup in, is basically what I'm trying to say. Like, you know, I could have done blush and highlighter and stuff. I haven't done that yet. I could have done that before mascara, before eyebrows, but after I get on my foundation, which is my foundation, my literal foundation, and my concealer, that's what I consider to be my foundation. After I get on that, everything else is pretty much just like free game. Okay, so that's what we're looking like for our eyelashes. And so I'm gonna go ahead and add a bottom coat, and I don't do a whole lot, just enough to where it actually looks like I have something on. And if you mess up with your mascara, you can just use a do I have one? No. Use a Q-tip. Okay, so next up, what we're gonna do is the last few steps. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in with my blush. I'm using this blush by Sephora, and it's called Sweet Pea. And so I'm gonna use this. It's two different colors, so I'm just gonna take a blush brush and I'm gonna dip it into both colors gently, just kind of like super gently. And then I'm just gonna add some blush. And you wanna add your blush to the apples of your cheek. And so I like to start and kind of build it up, just like I've been saying this whole time. Add a little bit and then build it up. And I don't really add a lot of blush, like you probably barely can see it. I'm just adding it in because my cheeks, my natural cheeks do get rosy, especially when I'm hot, so it makes sense to kind of add that natural element back into my face. Sometimes I'll take it across my nose if I want to make it look, you know, a little blushy, but for the most part I just like to focus it on the high points of my cheek, mainly because I already put the contour here, so I kind of leave this area alone. Then I add the blush on top of it, and then after that I will add my highlighter. So I'm going in with my e.l.f. highlighting brush and my highlighter, and I'm using the Laura Geller Gilded Honey highlighter, same stuff I've been using. And so I just kind of gently, ever so gently, and then you can also blow if you've added too much, so I think that's good. So I do both sides because I'm going to do one side with one side, and then the other side I'll do for the other side. So you want to focus that on the high points of the cheek. Anywhere where the sun touches your face, that's where you want to put your highlighter. And I could even do without the highlighter, but it adds like a little glow. It's shiny, you see, it's just giving, and so I love it. I also will come to the tip of my nose, add some highlighter there. I just love highlighter. I don't think I could live without it. And then I'll add some on the bridge of my nose. People highlight the inner corners. They highlight under their brow bone, above their brow bone, their forehead, their chin. Anywhere where the sun naturally kisses the skin is where you should be highlighting. So basically your whole face shouldn't be highlighted. But if you do that, then that's when you go off sis. But you probably should steer clear of that. Is that all? I think that's it. So the last step that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a makeup wipe, and what I like to do is try to get the makeup off of my lips that I put on my lips accidentally while I was doing my makeup. Like such. So, takes no time at all. I just want to get that makeup off. Sometimes if there's like a little makeup in my nose, then I'll use, because my nose hairs will catch the powders and stuff, I'll either do this or I will use a Q-tip. So that's pretty much going to be it. And then the last thing that I do is I put on a lip gloss. So I'm just going to use this clear lip gloss, and that's it. That's why I like to take the makeup off of my face, off of my lips rather, so I have my natural lip tone. So whenever I put on a lip gloss, it actually looks normal, as opposed to, you know, whenever I had the makeup on it and it just looked kind of flat because my whole face basically had makeup on it because I accidentally got some on my lips whenever I was blending out the makeup. So this is just a clear gloss. I'm just gonna put this on and then I'll just reapply it throughout the day. I will say that, what will I say? I will say that if I were going to go in with a color, like put a color on my lip, I probably wouldn't have removed the makeup because that's just kind of like an extra step. Okay, so that's it for my makeup look, you guys. This is my everyday routine. So I feel like I should go ahead and take out my hair since I'm here. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in with the Carol's Daughter Goddess Strength 7 Oil Blend Hair and Scalp Oil. And I'm gonna use this to take out my twist. I'm just gonna add like a pea-size amount to my hand, and then I'm gonna dip my fingertips in the oil, just because I don't like messing with my hair whenever it is dry. I don't do anything to my hair when it's dry, pretty much. Like as far as styling it, it's always wet. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna untwist all of these twists. This is called a twist out for those who are not aware. So when you twist your hair and then you take it out, it's called a twist out. And so I'm gonna find every twist, which I have probably like 12 or so, and I'm just gonna untwist them. And so what you really wanna do is try to go with the twist. You don't wanna like yank it apart. You kinda wanna let it naturally unravel. I will show you. So I'm just gonna go, you can normally start at the top. I normally start in the middle, but you can start at the top. So I start like in the middle here. I pull it apart, which is gonna reduce frizz. If you're forcing twists, it's gonna reduce frizz. That's why you wanna use oil, you wanna be gentle, and you wanna let it naturally untwist like such. Therefore, I have reduced frizz. You really don't even see any frizz. So I'm gonna do that for my whole head. And then, so at this point, this is a get ready with me, I guess. I'm just doing this because this is the first time you guys have seen me style my natural hair with my new color, because I recently got my hair dyed. So, I don't know what look I'm going for. Probably, this is a filming day, so I do need to take that into consideration. And what I like to do whenever I'm doing my twist outs is I just like to I twist my hair the night before and then take out the twist the next day, or even the day after that, or whenever. I just definitely do it at least the night before, at least like 12 hours before, because then I know it's going to dry. I can't be sure that my hair will be completely dry if I don't do it at least 12 hours before I'm going to style my hair. And you want your hair to be all the way dry, because that's going to reduce frizz tremendously as well. So at this point, I'm about to add frizz because I am about to further separate these twists, because I want like a big look. The further I separate them, the better and bigger of a look I'm going to achieve. I want a larger look because that's just, I prefer things big. So I'm going to force some twists apart, but sometimes you can find where the twists naturally separate. Like right here, I'm just stretching this twist out, and you see that area, boom, I can go ahead and untwist there, and then I do it again, and then you can't really see, but there are some other areas where it's just naturally untwisting. So that's how you want to do that, again with the main focus to reduce frizz. But sometimes you do have to kind of force some twists, which is perfectly fine. But if you can not do that, then you'll be able to not have such frizzy hair, and you don't want frizzy hair, because who wants that? I think they did go for that look back in the day, but yeah, in this day and age, we do not want frizzy hair. the look, you guys. I don't think I'm gonna, today, I don't think I'm going to do anything further. I do think I'm gonna have to cut these pieces because they're just not, they're not giving what I want for them to give. But for the most part, I think this is gonna be the look. So probably gonna wear my hoop earrings because hoop earrings are life. Okay, I have to go in like 8 minutes, but I'm probably gonna wear these hoop earrings, and I am mixing metals. So I have a gold necklace on and I'm putting in silver hoops. That's because I don't care, first of all, and then second of all, I like all metals, like rose gold, gold, literally any metal. I love it, and they all go together to me, if you ask me. Like, yeah. So I'm just pretty much gonna keep working. What I can do, which I don't know if I want to do because I feel like I might mess it up because this is heat damaged, but what I really want is to separate these pieces further and have like a super defined bang. But again, I think that's really going to require me to cut my hair. Also, if you have heat damaged hair and you don't separate it as much, it gives, I think, more of like a the look that more of like a natural look. If you go separating it, then that's how you can see that they're really straggly. You see how straggly this is compared to like this one? This one's a nice, good, unheat damaged coil, and this one just looks straggly. So yeah, at this point, I'm just trying to figure out my bang situation and trying to figure out if I want like a serious bang or what I want to do. But yeah, I probably should just cut. Okay, so this is gonna be the final look. I think this is how. Is this how I'm leaving the house? I don't know. Or do I want it to look like this? I definitely need my bang. Maybe that. Okay, I think that's it. All right, yeah, well, I'll be back. But as of right now, this is what we're looking like. So anyway, that is going to be the end of this video. I think I'm gonna go ahead and insert my full outfit here when I get back from the nail salon. So you guys should be seeing what I'm looking like today. And that is going to be it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like, subscribe if you're new, and if you're liking what you're seeing. And I will catch you guys right back here in a few days in a brand new video. Bye, guys.